Because there were a lot of different moments in the lifetime you just referred to as if they were all at the same time. I mean, the event you're talking about is not at the VA hospital, but when I went out to Long Island for the weekend, I called Rudy and so forth. I told that story. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't indulge in those kinds of psychedelics very much. I mean, there were a few occasions, and I've told you more or less all of them, I guess. I never saw that kind of thing as being fun. Mescaline or LSD and such. Even where there wasn't any particular dreadful visions and so forth, it wasn't merely that or only that could make it not fun, you see. The thing itself wasn't fun or just blissful and so on. It's a chemical transformation of the body-mind. It's a mortal phenomenon. And it's not escaped because of some drug experience. So if anything, I was simply super sensitized by the few occasions I had any experience with those drugs. And it wasn't just that they were so-called bad trips. It was just the thing itself. I mean, walking down the street and breathing was coincidence with fear for me. You see, with reality and the reality of the world, of egoity and so on. There was no just whistling zippity-doo-dah going down the street. You see, that doesn't mean there was no pleasure and so forth in life. I'm not suggesting that at all. Never been a depressive type in that sense. But naked, unarmored, always. So there's drugs of that kind, including traditional natural ones such as psilocybin or whatever. A few things were given in that VA hospital. Or peyote, which I had on a couple of occasions. Otherwise, these weren't merely pleasurable highs, you know, to make a whole decade of culture out of it. That was not at all the case for me. So to become that kind of enamored of all that stuff was not my disposition. It wasn't that I avoided them completely. I did them as I've done all kinds of things, either in the teaching consideration with everyone or otherwise in the sadhana years, just for the sake of unlimited experience, which was my commitment. But it wasn't necessarily repetitive experiencing. And it wasn't done merely casually. You see, it really was a sadhana. So whatever was embraced experientially by me was always done very seriously and intentionally and examined very fully. So psychedelic drugs, so-called, I have no moralistic views about it. It's simply part of the dreadful ritual of egoity. And there's nothing enlightening about it whatsoever. It's deluding. Plain old, that's it. But so is breathing and walking down the street, if you're ego-bound, you see. So in that sense, everything's the same. But this is a kind of exaggeration of psychophysical potential, this matter of psychedelic drugs and so on. And without being moralistic or puritanical about it, it was simply something examined and experienced. And I've said what I have to say about it. without any so-called axe to grind about it. With respect to the matter of realization, it is useless and potentially, obviously, deluding altogether. So it's not it. All kinds of things are not it.